It's here that recruits were provided with intense military training in a wide variety of weapons and tactics.
I was amazed of the quantity and diversity of the weapon I'm going to train on it. I was very excited, yes. Well, list, okay. Handgun, heavy machine gun, mines, explosive, assassinations with handgun, with sniper, storming in a civilian objective or in a military objective, carrying a kidnapping on a highway, on a house, killing somebody in a cafe. Then come the tactical training, which is combat training on the field.
Did you enjoy learning how to use all these weapons?
Very much. I love weapons. I always loved weapons.
It's an extraordinary, complete story, and certainly I don't think there's anything to match it within the intelligence reporting that I recall. The quality of the training was really striking. What you come away with is validation for the stories over the course of the last decade that the Mujahideen and especially Al-Qaeda have paid close attention to the training manuals for British and American special forces.
After every day's physical training came religious instruction and spiritual preparation, considered at least as important in camp life as learning specific military skills.
It's, for me, a learning. And I enjoy so much the religious teaching as the military teaching.
So a lot of religious teaching as part of it?
It's 50-50, you can say. Even 60-70% of religious and then the rest of weaponry.
The camps brought together tens of thousands of men from across the Islamic world. They shared a desire to fight the jihad, usually in their own countries, sometimes in conflicts like Bosnia and Chechnya. It would be Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden's greatest achievement to create a common jihad against a single enemy, the United States and the West.
You have Tajiki, Uzbeki, Philippine, you have Yemeni, Eritrean, you have Saudi, Kuwaiti, Qataris. They are just training you and you are free to choose your jihad. You are free, I repeat, you are free to say, no, I'm not going to fight there, I want to go to fight there.
At times, Nassiri actually wanted to fight his own jihad in Chechnya. This confusion of identity may have actually helped him to remain undercover as a spy.
Did you ever forget while you were there that you were a spy?
Oh yeah, all the time. At the end of the day, I am not a spy. The only moment I knew when I come back to myself, the real one, was when I put the cover on my head and talk about who I am with me.
Nassiri went to extreme lengths to prove his commitment to jihad. At one point, an instructor was showing recruits how to detonate explosives, but they failed to go off.
We wait, 10 minutes we wait, and then he stand up and say, who among you want to be Shaheed, with a big smile?
Shaheed?
Shaheed, but he's martyr.
A martyr?
Yeah, with a big smile in his face. Everybody laughed. I am the only one who raised my hand and said me.
Why?
Why? You want a quick answer? I am supposed to be Mujahid. I am supposed to be Mujahid. I am supposed to be Mujahid.
Nassiri's resourcefulness and his ability to move easily between the world of the West and that of Islam made him stand out. He was one of a select few chosen by the leader of the camp, Ibn Sheikh al-Libi, to progress from basic training. His next destination was Durunta, one of Al-Qaeda's elite camps.
This is the Arab camp. This is the entrance of Durranta, and this is the Kashmiri camp.
Durranta was a former Soviet base and included different compounds for different organizations.
We will play football in this field here.
You played football?
Yeah.
Who played football? What were the teams?
The Hizb Islami against the Arab. They will always win us anyway.
At Haldan, recruits had been taught how to use explosives and detonators. At Durranta, they learnt how to make them from scratch, using household ingredients.
We make nitroglycerin, we make TNT, we make RDX, we make many different type of explosive. This is where we make our explosive testing with a big amount of explosives, and everybody was aware that you don't go there.
I think the role of Durranta, I would say, was like a graduate school. It was for the cream of the insurgents. It was for people who were needed to do special kinds of jobs, and then to produce the people that could eventually conduct terrorist operations abroad, and to begin the process of acquiring a WMD capability.
Did you see any experimentation to make chemical weapons?
They succeed to do it.
What they were making it in the laboratory, were they?
One of the laboratory next adjacent to our.
Did you ever see them test it? Or
yes, sure. There was most of all rabbits. They put him in a glass room and then come in every 2-3 hours or every half an hour and checking how he looked like.
And they killed the rabbits with,
yes,
with
sure,
the gas?
They killed many rabbits.
The training at the camps was comprehensive. It included how to resist interrogation if captured, as Nassiri witnessed one day when he was confronted by an unusual scene.
When we opened the door, we see in the middle of the mosque someone hanged up from his feet, and his face was covered.
Nassiri was told the man was not being punished. He was being prepared for potential capture.
They teach you how to go through it by not giving anything to the enemy. This is what they teach you, by deceiving him.
So it was a training manual on how to resist interrogation?
How to deceive the interrogator mostly.
So they were training people how to deceive people,
yeah,
even when they're interrogated or even tortured?
Sure.
We've learned that Iraq has trained Al-Qaeda members in bomb making, in poisons, and deadly gases.
That information which was used to make the case for invading Iraq, came from a captured Al-Qaeda leader, someone who is well known to Nassiri.
I can trace the story of a senior terrorist operative telling how Iraq provided training in these weapons to Al-Qaeda. This senior Al-Qaeda terrorist was responsible for one of Al-Qaeda's training camps in Afghanistan.
The senior terrorist operative was Ibn Sheikh al-Libi, Nassiri's mentor at the camps. A US Defense Intelligence document, only declassified last year, confirmed this.
Do you think he'd tell the truth if he was tortured?
Ibn Sheikh, yeah. Abu Zubaydah, any one of them? No.
You don't think they'd tell the truth?
Never.
The Defense Intelligence document shows there were doubts about al-Libi's claims a year before Colin Powell's speech to the UN.
He take up 80% of the truth and put 20% of what he wanted to bring them in a position to do what he wanted to do.
So you're saying you think he deliberately planted information to get America to fight Iraq?
Exactly.
Why would he do that?
Because he needed Iraq, like him and the others. He needed the conflict in Iraq because months before, I heard him telling us we need to have back one of the Muslim country, and the weakest of them is Iraq.
It's very clear that they believe they can fight the jihad from the cell just as easily as they can fight it on the battlefield. And I would think that the Ibn Sheikh example, buttressed by the assessment we're talking about to show how the training was inculcated in those camps, ought to give people a little bit more wariness when they approach the use of interrogation reports.
After nearly a year in Afghanistan, Ibn Sheikh told Nasiri his training was complete. It was time to put his new skills to use.
He asked me to go back in Europe and begin to make a list of all targets in the future the brother can attack.
In Peshawar, Abu Zubaydah gave Nasiri his phone number and also details of a bank account. He was told to put together a cell in Europe.